welcome back to Gamer Nerds. I'm Sid. In this episode, we'll be talking about Heavy Rain, which was released exclusively for PS3. This game revolves around a series of murders committed by a killer whose signature is origami. This interactive drama follows 4 characters whose fates are eventually intertwined. But that's enough for me. Let's hear what the nerds have to say.
Alright guys, let's get into the story of Heavy Rain. This is my first interactive drama. I've never played a game like this before. Most of the time I keep saying the most important thing in the game is the gameplay. This time around, I think you'll agree that the driving force in this game is actually the story.
It's one of the first games you'll get a trophy for just by turning the game on, and it says thank you for playing. Definitely it is an interactive drama. The developer David Cage, it's a follow-up to his titles, an Integral Prophecy for Xbox, so there's no surprise the focus is on the story. Definitely a strong point. It's film noir, it's a crime drama, murder mystery. A little bit of influence from the Saw, or a lot of influence
I think
from the
a
Saw.
lot of influence from the Saw.
Yeah, a little bit too much. Basically, you follow the story of 4 normal people. You have a father of 1 son, Ethan Mars. You have a journalist named Madison Page. You have a gumshoe detective named Scott Shelby, and a hotshot FBI personnel, Norman Jayden, with a drug problem. Through certain events, you're on the trail of the origami killer. In the town, Rainy McRainville, origami killers been striking victims over the years.
I found it a little weird at first, like this is a weird, kind of game.
Very slow starting, yeah.
Very slow. But then once that thing happens, that first mark, from a story point of view, this is the first time in a long time since Final Fantasy VII when Aerith dies that I have actually been like, oh, snap, that's kind of sad.
No, it wasn't.
It
Look,
was
I'm gonna tell you
sad.
right now, the whole game could have been avoided if the man had a wallet, alright? You want your son to live, and not die in the hands of a serial killer? Just buy a wallet.
For a game, I have never been so intrigued into the lives of the characters. I mean, the contrast between when pre-Ethan, family Ethan to après event Ethan is so dark, so contrasty. And this man was depressed. And you start playing the game, you're gonna man, I'm kind of feeling bummed out. You actually felt like this character. And then you jump to the point of view of other characters, and the stories are so
intertwining.
And it's so realistic.
It's not super realistic. There are some really, glaring inconsistencies. We still haven't figured out how Ethan blacks out with origami hands. It was never explained, but again, they wanted to do that to keep the mystery of the origami killer. You do start at very different perspectives. Addison just, wakes up as an insomniac with probably the craziest dreams, why would a girl think about that kind of stuff? Because she's nuts. Scott Shelby, a former cop, took on the task to find the identity of the origami killer on behalf of the families. Norman Jayden, who's an FBI agent, brought in to take care of the case, and his really cool, airy, matrix,
weird glasses,
mobile computer business. The story starts off very slow. There's one event, picks up everything. I was surprised how action-based the game is. It's very similar to Mass Effect. Everything you do, don't do, pass or fail, there's no way to lose the game. People can die, people can survive, but everything you do affects the outcome. There are vastly different endings based on certain actions that you partake in. I was very intrigued. We both had similar endings, but slightly different. There's a really good ending, there's a really, really bad ending, and there's plenty in between. Warrants multiple playthroughs. One of the best stories.
When we previewed the game, I was saying it's gonna be all these options, and even I was kind of skeptical, but when I finally played it, the story honestly is just really well developed. Little actions change so much. I wish more, more games would follow through and start making rich, adult stories like this. So, good stuff.
Good stuff. When Heavy Rain was first revealed by Quantic Dreams, the big focus was on the graphics, and that's definitely a strong point. Originally, I thought this was like a point-and-click game in terms of the old LucasArts adventures. It's a quick-time game. When I first heard about this, I literally thought it'd be button presses a la God of War. I'm actually very glad to say that even though it is quick-time events, they're varied, they're different enough, and they actually make sense in the context of the game. You'll be doing everything simply pressing buttons and combinations, doing joystick motions, doing subtle joystick motions, and then there's some crazy cases where you gotta contort your hand to press 5 different buttons at once, and they're in different order, very difficult. Because the scenarios and the environments are all different, you'll be, almost on your toes. The action sequence in particular
are just awesome. You're not necessarily punching and controlling the kicks. There are button cues, you have to press them. If you fail, the fight still goes on.
Unless your character is in a dire situation, and there are plenty of those, the scene will still continue. You do get a few chances, and sometimes if you keep missing, say bye-bye.
Only problem I can possibly find with this game, honestly, is just the walking.
Worst thing ever.
R2 you hold down, and then you're trying to walk, and it's very just kind of and then sometimes you try to go in a certain direction and you go in the wrong direction and you just keep spinning until you get it right. Didn't like that very much.
There are certain scenarios, when the game does pick up where time is of the essence, and if you like a certain character and you miss out, your character's dead. Especially in tight spaces, you'll press R2 to move forward and you want to go the other way, so you gotta move the joystick and compensate, and then you overdo it. There's 2 scenarios in particular where it was really frustrating for me. I wanted to get out of a really, really frightening place and I didn't end up doing that. I saw a really cool scene after. A lot of work was put into a lot of thought. One of my favorite parts is where you're running from the law enforcement on top of a building. It's not just regular quick time, and they did enough to make it vary through, a 10-hour game, which I thought was very commendable.
I just love the fact that you can really interact with just about anything. You walk around, I don't know, an apartment, turn on the TV, check what's in the fridge,
yep.
Blah, blah, blah. Like all these random stuff you don't really care about doing, you can still do them, which just makes the game for me feel like I'm really this character. When I played the game, I felt like I was watching this movie, but I was able to control what was gonna happen.
It's like one of those choose your own adventure books, except you're playing a game, so...
And you can't really cheat by going backwards and going,
Well, you could, always reload a scenario to get the most out of the story, play through it once, play through it again.
When your character is really feeling stressed out and really tense, the choices you have to make become really shaky and really just kind of like...
They're flying around your head.
And you have a hard time even seeing what you're supposed to do, so you're kind of like, I hope this is the right choice. When you press, I think it's L1 or L2, you actually see what the character's thinking, and you can choose, what you want him to say in his head.
Very surprising gameplay, and I was very happy with the results.
Let's get into the AV, the way the game looks and sounds. Honestly, Heavy Rain, freaking awesome game, awesome looking.
For the most part.
I don't know. Okay, anyway, the facial animations are so realistic.
That's really, really well done.
Just the way the characters look, all of them. Ethan Madison is hot. I mean, you get to see boobies in the game. Can I just say that? Boobies.
It's a very mature game. Everything about it, brings on this adult storyline. So definitely not for kids.
Nope.
The way you play, you'll see certain parts of certain characters or certain interactions, certain characters. Dirty pervert like him, you can peek through someone taking a shower, or you can undress them.
Or make them shower.
Or make them shower. I will say this, that the character modeling for the main 4 guys is very well done. In fact, all of the NPCs and all the general background characters also very well done. The environments are all different. Everything from really nice house that Ethan had originally to a burned down apartment where you gotta make a really hard choice. The only problem I have with the visuals now is the walking animations. You have 4 different characters who walk very differently. Scott is a very stumbly walk. You get a lot of, gratuitous shots of Madison's butt when she's walking, but she's female, so...
I'm not complaining.
Again, going with the control scheme, I just don't like the R2 and control thing, but that was a choice they made. The voice acting for the most part is very good. I was just surprised that Sony went with non-English voice actors. Ethan's son sounds like he's Hakan from Street Fighter 4. And you have French actors playing English people. It's all over the place.
I don't really think I had a problem with the voice acting per se. Maybe the kids sounded retarded.
They don't sound English, man.
The kids sound retarded.
It's a French developer, fine.
The kids are terrible. All the adults, like Lauren, Madison, whatever, they all sound really good. What sounded off, because this game is based on the fact you have to make a choice, and then someone says something. So sometimes they'll say like blah 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 blah, pause, and then they'll say something else. It kind of feels a little choppy at times. I found the music to be really awesome. There wasn't that much of it.
There's this one track and it's almost random, but it'll just swell up. I thought something crazy is gonna happen. I'm opening the fridge, cooking dinner for my son. It just happens at inopportune times. In the really tense scenarios, like the sauce scenarios, the music's up there, so it keeps the tension up with the gameplay. The audio, at least for the most part, is done very well.
I love that one piano track they play every time something sad happens.
Yeah.
I was like I
said, a lot of sad stuff can happen. I think they did a good job.
Just like the boobies. Let's get into the content of Heavy Rain. Obviously, there's the main storyline, and there is quite a lot of story in there. A lot of choices you can possibly make, so this is such a big game. You can play this game multiple times. Beyond that, I don't really feel like there was anything else beyond, packaged with the game, but you seem to disagree, so.
He's preoccupied with Final Fantasy. Like I said, there is a very realistic comparison to Mass Effect. This one, choices make even more difference. You can replay each chapter, get a completely different ending. The stuff that you may have failed the first time or avoided, a completely new section of those story segments can open up. The first time I played through was about 8-10 hours of gameplay. I enjoyed it. I will play through it again just to get the other endings. What if I let this guy die? What if I let this guy live? I like that. There's the first DLC episode called the Heavy Rain Chronicles, called The Taxidermist. The game sold well enough, so I'm sure there's going to be continuous DLC. The game was received well enough, so Quantic Dream, fantastic job. Need a little bit of work, but I can work Heavy Rain too.
I don't think I played Madison's shower scene enough.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed the show. Feel free to leave your comments and feedback below. And please subscribe. See you next time on Gamer Nerds.
If that turns off because you shuffle and Phil gets to kick your ass. Yeah, we didn't record anything because I moved my testicle. Thank you for taking part in this interactive drama. What, I got the English right?
Oh, I'm good.